With us now at Post 9 to break everything down, Pulitzer Prize winning New York Times columnist Jim Stewart. Let's start with the G20, actually.
Right.
Do you have expectations there? Or have you sort of learned anything? What are you focused on in terms of trying to figure out if there's going to be progress?
What I'd really like to know is what exactly are they going to be talking about? Everybody's, sort of euphoric that they are talking. They think, well, they must be close to some kind of a deal. The heads of state are going to, get together. But I don't think we know much of anything about that. So I've been looking at, what's the point of the tariff war? Okay, number one goal of these is, are you protecting U.S. jobs? Are you protecting U.S. industries? And it seemed to me like steel has been the poster child. And going to exactly what the latest economic data has shown, I was looking at U.S. steel stock. Last August, I think it was almost 40. It's 14 today. Now, that was one of the prime companies that was supposed to benefit from the steel tariff. So why hasn't it? It's because the threat of trade wars has so depressed the global economy, which in turn has depressed demand for commodities and finished goods. It's hurting U.S. steel more than it's helping. So when are we going to declare victory here, or at least say this particular one isn't working? So is that kind of on the agenda? Okay, number two, we're using tariffs as a broader weapon to try to get China to lower various barriers to competition there. Like they have the technology transfers, co-ownership. Well, is that on the table? And how much progress have we made there? Are we going to get some kind of victory? That actually goes the other way. That's using tariffs to try to advance a free trade agenda. And Trump has sometimes said he believes in free trade. It's hard to say, given all these contradictory actions. Then finally, we're using tariffs as part of the cyber war, I guess.
And national security
and
overall.
National security. And that, to me, really ought to be in the hands of defense experts. I'm the first to say this is extremely complicated. Do we really have to keep all Chinese companies out of the 5G supply chain in order to secure our future? I don't know. I'd like to know more about that. But is that on the agenda too? Is all of this on the agenda? If all of this is on the agenda, then they need a lot more than a kind of drive-by greeting at a G20 meeting.
It seems like it's sort of just about establishing goodwill so that their deputies can do the details. But, to your point, Jim, it was never going to be easy, and it was never going to be quick. President Trump is facing election. If I'm an investor with betting odds, wouldn't I bet that the president is going to have to get a trade deal done before the election to shore up the stock market, the economy, and also say, look, I have this monumental deal that I made with China. No other president has done that.
Well, I totally agree with that. He launches a so-called war, a tariff war. Election is coming up. You can't go into that election without declaring some kind of victory, in my view. And I look around the landscape. What he has going for him definitely is the stock market. And I think investors have, in fact, shrugged off a lot of the potential downside here because they agree with you. He's got to pull a rabbit out of the hat here. He's got to come up with something to show for all this. And he's got to be keenly aware of that. The strongest thing he has going for him is a healthy economy and a very strong stock market. But the healthy economy, some of these latest numbers are looking, pretty shaky. And the bond market is looking like things don't look good out there.
You can always blame Fed Chair Powell.
Well, does that every day.
But that's not going to, pointing the fingers, if something has gone wrong, I would much rather run on a stock market hitting new highs and a strong economy and low unemployment and saying, look, we've done this, keep it going. That's what I would want to run on. I don't want to have a disaster that I have to start blaming on somebody who, by the way, I appointed. That's not going to work.